All right, hello and welcome to Bear Pride Production Studios in Arvin, California. I'm Johnny G. Watson and I'm here with two very special guests today. Next to me is Jaeden G. Watson from Stockdale High School, my son, that's kind of cool, and Naquore Davis from Independence High School. And the reason why we're here today is to celebrate their success and accomplishments. One of the things that tie these two gentlemen together is the Project B.E.S.T program. B.E.S.T stands for Black Excellence in Student Teaching. So gentlemen, welcome, and how are we doing today?
Doing quite well. How are you doing today?
Doing well, doing well. So just tell me, how's your Project B.E.S.T experience been so far?
Ooh, Project B.E.S.T has been one of the most wonderful experiences I ever could have asked for. The support and family atmosphere that Mrs. Brown brings to the program is one of a kind and really helps with the confidence when you're the only African American student in the majority of your classes.
And how about you, Naquore? How's it been for you, buddy?
Honestly, I think it is just a wonderful experience. It's almost a blessing to have just such a huge foundation and support in being such a minority in all these extra classes and just that overall atmosphere I have. So I think it's just a wonderful experience to have Mr. Johnson from Independence supporting me. So
let me ask this, because I remember going to a few meetings with you guys, and sometimes they're after basketball practice, or you have homework to do and stuff. But were all these meetings and Project B.E.S.T people pushing you? Was it worth it?
In the long run, of course. When you're first getting the push, you feel like a brick. You don't want to go anywhere, but you want to be that brick that builds the house. So like with Mrs. Brown always saying, you got to do this, got to do that, stay on top of your work, stay on top of your extracurriculars. Being the student that you can be and not just the student people want you to be is an experience and an opportunity that you need to take. And with Project B.E.S.T, I feel like I've taken it almost to an extreme. But in that sense, it's really helped me to get where I want to go.
And tell me, how do you feel about that? Tell me, what do you think?
I feel like anything having to do with Project B.E.S.T takes commitment. Any type of very impacting program that is there to support you, you have to give the time and commitment back. And so after practice or homework or anything like that, the least I could do is give back to the people who are supporting me and helping me strive to be great.
And let me ask you, Naquore, speaking of that, what advice would you give future B.E.S.T students, that are in the program, or the students in general? What would you tell them?
I tell them this every time I see them. Anytime we have a meeting or a program, I say just to stay committed to this program. Just be the one who wants to strive and be great. Be the one who puts the best in Black excellence in student teaching. Be that one who wants to commit to being better and striving to be great. And
what about you, Jaeden? What advice would you give?
Well, as Naquore said, to be great is a wonderful thing. And when you're striving through education and through athletics, through extracurriculars, your church on the side, whatever you do, do it the best that you can, because to give anything less than your best is to sacrifice the gift, as Steve Prefontaine said.
Right, and very good. So tell me, what is your fondest memory of Project B.E.S.T so far?
Ooh. So far, it has definitely been the field trips, going along with students that you don't always hang out with, but you find are the funniest, most charismatic people out there. We've been to SDSU, UCSD, just all over the state of California, and spending time with students that you don't know much about, but in a short span of 24 hours, you learn their whole life story. Is something you can't give away. You take it and you take it for the rest of your life.
Yeah. What about you? What's some of your fondest memories?
I have to agree with Jaeden on the field trips, because there could be times where there are students going, like let's say I'm a senior right now, there's students going freshmen, sophomore, and juniors that I've never seen before, I've never heard of. All I know is that they have the grades to go on these field trips. And so that's an automatic click, like a connection we have, is that, okay, they're committing to their work, they're committing to being excellent in their student teachings. And I think that it's great to just, although we are all in the same community, there's a huge diversity between us. And that's something that we all have in common. And I think it's great to experience that. And there's no better way to do it than through the field trips when we're all together.
Right. And speaking of grades and commitment, what was your grade point average, or what is your current grade point average right now?
My current grade point average is a 4.09.
All right. And how about for you, Jaeden?
Currently a 4.5 GPA.
All right. So is the struggle real?
It's very real. Oh my goodness.
Struggle is real.
So let's talk for a moment now. Tell me a little bit about the commitment that you two have made, and we'll start here and work our way down. Both of you have been accepted to West Point Academy in New York. So tell us about that.
The West Point experience?
Just tell, hey, you worked this hard. I mean, life is about to change. Like, for example, let me just put it this way. You went on a lot of field trips, over the past years with Project B.E.S.T. How did those field trips help make your final decision, like where you guys are going to be going?
Well, to start with, not just the people on the trips, but the people going out on these field trips.
Mm-hmm.
I learned that some of the schools we went to are the schools I don't want to go to.
Mm-hmm.
And not necessarily I didn't have a great time. I had a phenomenal time there.
Mm-hmm.
But the time I spent on these trips was the time that I spent for my fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I go to school to work.
Mm-hmm.
And I recently took a trip out to West Point in September. And during that trip, I found that work is everywhere. Challenges arise every day. The challenge to wake up is present every morning. And the curriculum out there is something that I want to take and use to better my future. The students out there are all of the upper echelon, and they're out there to do great things for the world, for the nation. And to be among them is to be among the great names like Washington and Lincoln and Obama. And to have a name like that, to have a name up there, to have put in the work to make the community on the small scale, the city on the larger scale, the nation on the grand scale, to make it a better place, not just for myself, but for my father, for my mother, for my fellow students, for my fellow Americans. It's an opportunity that I would love to take and use for the better.
Alrighty, and how about for you, Enrique? I mean, you obviously, again, you guys went on a lot of field trips and stuff, man. But you chose West Point. How in the heck did that? It's a real big deal, man. I'm trying to like put it in one sentence, and I can't. But all the things that you did that led you up with Project B.E.S.T. Tell me about that and how it helped make your final decision for where you're going.
Well, I feel like choosing a college is almost similar to choosing friends or partners in a way. You want to look for those qualities that you share and or want to have and or strive for. And so I think that in choosing West Point, I chose qualities that I want to have and or do have already. And these qualities, such as commitment, such as drive to do work, such as time management, such as just being preparation and overall being content with always working hard and always trying to do something to better yourself every single day.
Yeah.
I see those in the United States Military Academy. And not only do I look at the qualities that we share and or I want to have, I also look at the benefits that come with it.
Sure.
And I tell this to anyone who really asks. I do not mind working hard now while I'm younger, because it's gonna make every road that I take in the future easier. And that's the biggest thing I want. I want the ride through my life to be as easy as possible for me, for my family, and I don't mind working hard right now to do so.
So right now, then, you're basically what you're doing is you're paying the cost to be the boss right now.
Yes.
I heard that. And tell me this, guys. How's your senior year been? Just having that Project B.E.S.T guidance, because people get senioritis. I don't know if it's struck you guys yet, but there's just a lot going on. All of a sudden seniors are grown. They think they know everything and they know what they're doing with their life. But how has Project B.E.S.T kind of kept you in line?
Project B.E.S.T is almost like the vaccine or deterrent of senioritis. Like you said, there is always something going on, and Project B.E.S.T ensures that you are part of it. Project B.E.S.T ensures that you're doing your part to be the best student you can be and to be out there in the community working outside of yourself, outside of your interests. Because when you give to someone, the community gives back in full.
I heard that. And how about for you, buddy?
I feel that Project B.E.S.T always has I would say, a good pressure on your shoulders because you always have like a chip to carry around with you. And so it has impacted me all 4 years, but senior year when I really started taking my time and really started focusing on, okay, after high school, what am I going to do? What am I really want to do? And I was offered this opportunity to apply for West Point through Project B.E.S.T. So I really do have to thank Project B.E.S.T. for even getting in, because if it wasn't for them, I would never have applied. And so the least I could do is pay them back for getting me towards this opportunity, for basically giving me that first step to enter the door.
Right.
And so the least I could do is stay involved and stay impacting and stay being a role model and a leader for the younger generations coming in and are interested in the Project B.E.S.T. program.
I heard that. And just before we go, I kind of wanted to ask, how will you apply your wisdom from your Project B.E.S.T. experience as you move on into life after high school? Because you've kind of been disciplined along the way. So how are you guys planning on handling that? And what are you going to do? What are you going to take with you?
Well, the grind never stops, and with Project B.E.S.T, I want to just, again, a huge shout out to Mrs. Brown and her team for the infallible support. In the future, career goal wise, I want to be commissioned as a second lieutenant in the United States Army. And with the discipline from Project B.E.S.T, the work ethic instilled through all 4 years, it's something that you just don't go to sleep on. You wake up with it every day, and it drives you. It's a huge motivator, and you never turn your back on it because it's a part of your life.
Right. And how about you, Naquore? Like, what are you going to take with you? Now you got your Project B.E.S.T backpack, so you're on your way to West Point. So what are you going to take with you?
Well, one thing that Project B.E.S.T has showed me is gratitude. And so I'm going to take that gratitude I have for my family, for Mr. Johnson, for even Mr. Chris Dutton, and I'm just going to take that and run with it off to West Point. And after majoring in whatever field I want to major in and being commissioned as an officer, I want to use that sense of gratitude, that sense of pride I had for finally completing a goal, a dream goal, and I want to take that off and serve my country with it.
I heard that. Hey guys, we're going to about out of time here, but I know you kind of thanked a couple of key people that helped you at Project B.E.S.T. Any others that you want to kind of give shout outs to before we go? Go first.
I want to give a shout out to my parents. I want to give a shout out to Mr. Chris Dutton, Mr. Johnson, any teacher who basically believed in me, because I know there was a low acceptance rate. I know there was so many bumps in the road, but you all pushed me and strived for me, and so the least I could do is strive for you guys back, and I really want to thank you for helping me and believing in me.
I heard that. All righty. Very good. How about you, Jaeden?
I'd like to thank, first and foremost, my mother for always believing in me, for her continued love, for her loving of my poems that I write, and for my dad, who's always pushed me on and off the track, on and off in the classroom, at home to do my laundry, because, you know, clean clothes make the man. But he's always been there for me and never stopped his support. And, you know, a father's hug and a mother's hug and a mother's love are things you can't trade. I'd like to thank Mrs. Brown for her always being there for me. She's never led me astray. She's always had something for me to do, and I'm thankful for that. And I'd like to thank my brother as well for being a role model I look up to, for being my Superman. And to Mr. Chris Dutton for showing me what West Point is, first of all. And to my grandmother as well, because she's my biggest fan, and I'm her biggest fan.
Alrighty, guys. Hey, man, thank you so much. Hey, that's all the time we have here today. Thank you, both Jaeden and Naquore, for joining us on this special occasion, man. I really appreciate you guys coming out here today. I'm Johnny G. Watson, and coming up next, we'll have more interviews from the Project B.E.S.T past participants. So we'll be back in a moment. Thanks for joining us. That was great, man. And they say that, and they say that, and they say that. Dang. All right, I needed that water.